Well, hello everyone. I have started the assembly of this Craftsman wall cabinet. I will show you a little bit in the detail what I did. This is a step one. Now down on the bottom is a tray. So if you look closely, I drill the holes and I secure this bottom with the rivets to the bottom of the case. I could not install bolts or nuts down there because that is too big and it will protrude out. The next thing I did is, see this little bottom edge over here of this tray? I put the black electrical tape on it and I started insulating the bottom of this case. As I go, I will talk about more insulation. The insulation will also go on this corner of the case right here, and you will see the cutting mats on this side and on the bottom too, but we'll discuss those things as we go. The next thing I'm going to do is drill holes, ventilation holes in this black section and the back side of this cabinet. Continuation. Today we're going to be doing the ventilation holes on the back of the case. Now, need a couple of tools. You will need a micrometer, hammer, punch. Beer opener hammer is very important. You always got to have that. Okay? You will need something that you can mark your holes with. Normally on black you use a silver if you need it to. Alright, so right now you can see where I'm marking. I'm outlining where I'm going to make ventilation holes. We need to make 4 of these. You know, I'm trying to show as much of this process as I can. I'm trying to keep everything as straight as possible, even though it always kind of gets out of the way and not the way it needs to be. We have outlined where we're going to make the holes for ventilation on the back part. Next thing is to punch it so we can have easier way starting the holes when we drill. Alright, now we're going to clean up the holes, not leave the sharp edges. Alright, here we go. The ventilation holes are done. So if we go around, we'll see how does that look like. 140 holes, and they will help ventilate. We're continuing with the build of this Powerwall 3.0. Next thing is insulating the case. Now, this is not thermally insulating the case. This is electrically insulating the case. Like with these cutting mats that you can get at, you know, Bed Bath and Beyond. They're very tough. and so they can be glued on down on the bottom.
That's cool. It could be going.
We got these cutting mats on the bottom. We got them on both sides. I put electrical tape on this lip of the tray, and I put electrical tape 2 times on the lip of this side of the cabinet, and same on this side too. They're all doubled up. That will provide a lot of insulation. Plus there will be more insulation on the back of the cells too, which will help prevent any kind of a mechanical contact, meaning metal to metal contact between the box and the cells. I think that's very important, especially if I'm later told that I need to ground the box. Alright, so these pieces are going to be right here, as I said, supporting the batteries on the back side. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attach these. So we got these cells down on the bottom, as you can see. Now I'm measuring between the cells where I'm going to put this support. And now this support is going to be screwed to the back side. It will allow for more rigidity. And then the nylon bar will go on top of this, which will be cut to fit and support the batteries. Same thing. So we're drilling the holes right now for these supports. 3 holes on each side. All right, now we got the battery supports on the back installed, and now it is time to cut the nylon bar to fit on top of it, and it will be glued on. Now that we got these nylon bars cut, we're going to install them on these aluminum square pieces, this, and we are going to secure this piece onto it too. These pieces will be held by a glue. Alright, now that we got nylon bars cut to where they need to be, that's my little daughter, she's helping me today. Now that we got these nylon bars cut where they need to be, you can see that I siliconed that part of the case, another side too, because I'm trying to minimize the amount of air that will be pulled through. I want it to be pulled down from the bottom where the holes are. Alright, I'll film again when I come to the next stop. This requires a couple of hands. However, my 3-year-old is unable to help me right now. Alright, the nylon bars are on. Everything is drying. And I'll have to wait until tomorrow to continue. But we'll see the outcome tomorrow.
I helped you, Daddy.
Yes, you did, little baby. Alright guys, right now what we're going to do is use this nylon bar to secure the sides, to secure the batteries on the sides. And it will go right here. And it will go 23 inches high, 23 inches high, just like the rest of this, just like the rest of these supports for the batteries. It will prevent the battery from sliding this way. You might ask yourself, is it going to slide this way? No, because it will be in between other batteries. The second row of the batteries will be supported from a front side, so you won't let it rotate on itself. All right, I'll cut this down. When I go ahead and secure it, I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you too. inside is done. These are the support for the batteries on the far sides of the power wall that will keep the batteries inside, as discussed before. Alright guys, good thing about this this switch is that it comes with a template. So on a template right here you can see where you need to drill your holes. So the next thing will be is to mark these holes. So we mark these holes and starting with a punch, and we go from there. Pilot holes are drilled. Now for the big one. The hole is totally prepped. That's how it goes. Marking spots for the fan. We're gonna start drilling next. Alright guys, the fan is fitted. It goes underneath and it will be pushing the air out together with this screen over here, so we can jam our little fingers in it. This is that Noctua fan that I'm talking about. This fan is $30. The reason why it's $30, it has a large diameter motor in it. Plus, the fans, the ends of the blades sit so close to the body of the fan, to the housing of the fan. This fan at 2,000 RPMs will suck more air out than some fans spinning in 4,000 RPMs. When the time comes, I will replace my fans up in LV5048s with Noctua fans. There's nothing better in the world than this. Okay, and I do believe in them, and I have been using them for over a decade right now. Not one has ever failed me. Outline for the little voltmeter. We're gonna cut it with the Dremel. I'll talk to you guys soon. It's done. Here it is. Gotta dress it up a little bit with a file and we'll go from there. Well, here we are. No footage of actually doing this, but I have pre-drilled all of the holes that are needed for the top of the case, for mounting the fan, for mounting the switch, voltmeter, converter, thermostatic electronic control, BMS, and the outputs. Couple more things and we'll be able to connect everything, and we go to the next step. This is my template, and I'm going to mark where I'm going to drill holes. That's the next one. So since this is so hard to do with the phone over here recording and all that, I'm only going to do one. Maybe you'll be able to see it. But basically line it up, mark the holes, and move on to the next one. So the next thing will be to use a hammer and a punch and punch it on the holes so we can easily start drilling. Get the point. Once I'm done with all of them, we'll proceed to the next step. Now that we got them all punched, we're gonna make holes in them. We're gonna start with a 1/8, step 2 13/64, step 3 9/32, and then we'll finish it off with this one right here. For this step, I am wearing the gloves to protect myself as best as I can. Drill number 2. Finished thing. Man, that took forever. But anyway, they're here, ready to go. They're gonna get special treatment together with the batteries when we are assembling them. Starting the assembly on the top of the case. Well, here we are on the top of the cabinet. I have all the stuff installed and ready to go. BMS, make sure you spread a current across the BMS. Fan, voltmeter, thermostatic control, DC converter, switch. Everything has been pre-wired and ready to go. I'll let these cables sit at the length. I'm gonna cut them later once the time comes. But sorry, no filming on this one. Little daughter was sick, so I had to take care of her. So here are the batteries, the cells. I got my little helper here with me. She's helping me big time. That's mostly unpacked. And we got one that we're gonna unbox right here. Come in these boxes.
Okay, Daddy.
Yes. And then
Okay, now.
We open it up. They're not that badly packed at all. Stand right there. Let that open. Or you want to open it? Come on here.
What?
Open it. Open it so we can show it to everybody.
Yeah, I got one too.
Okay, hold it. Go. Yeah, you gotta put that in the trash, okay?
Thank you.
It's packed with this white foam,
Thank you.
and then they come in. As you can see, they have this white tape up on top. That's your first giveaway that they are not brand new. I don't think a brand new would come that way. And then of course, the barcode has been wiped clean. That's it. And I gotta assemble all of this right now. Now we're getting ready to install a top brace. 1-inch aluminum bar. Cut and shaped into place, and it's gonna be held on with the screws at this point on both sides. You gotta calculate in. I'm putting these mats in between each module, so you gotta calculate those in once you install it. Here's the bracing installed. Drill the holes. All right, Powerwall 3.0 is in the final position. Battery cell assembly, module assembly begins. So during the assembly this time, what I'm doing is I'm sanding the top of the cells and then cleaning it off with a wire brush in hopes that I'm removing enough oxidation from the top of the cells where I'm going to have a better connection. Same thing I'm doing on the bus bars. Cleaning the bus bars before assembly, and then using the assembly grease on them. So hopefully this will be good enough and create a good connection where I'm not going to have a previous problems as before, like I thought that one cell was bad. My thinking is that I had oxidation on the cells before, and that created issues where one cell would discharge faster than the other, and therefore when you're charging them back up, two cells would charge properly and the last one did not. So I think this will help enough. However, in another things, I'm starting the assembly just to see a little bit. It's a little bit kind of impossible to record right here, but anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. Alright, here are the cells compared one to another. The one up on top is the one that I sanded and wire brushed, and one on the bottom is ones that have not been treated at all. See it right here. I think, well, I don't think, I'm pretty sure this has caused some kind of problems, but I don't know to what degree. I think what I'm doing is probably going to help big time. Time will tell, but I'm doing something different this time. That's what I talked about in the last video. Row 2 is finished. Assembly is going slow, but we'll get there. Last row is going in. Looking good so far. Should be done in about 3 days. We'll see. Last row is in. Tying it up. Done. Wiring the big wires. Tomorrow will be BMS and balancer. Getting ready to install the BMS and the balancer. Wiring is here. I'm gonna do some soldering and we'll see how it goes. Installing the wiring harness for the balancer and the BMS. It will look a whole lot better by the time I finish. I'm almost at the end. I haven't recorded anything. I totally forgot. The roughing is done. Wiring is done. Installing the doors on a cabinet. Buttoning up the bottom part. Balancer is on there, but it's not balancing. Always clean up after yourself. That obligatory peel to make it feel fresh. Awesome. Here are the all three power walls. They're working. Power wall number 3 has been tested. I have to balance the cells, of course, because they were sitting probably for a couple of months. I'm going to charge each cell separately while it's still hooked up to the inverter charging side. I'm actually going to use 2 different charging solutions on the same power wall, but that's a different video. However, the build is complete. I gotta tie up, actually make it look good, the conduits from the power wall number 3 to the power distribution box up there up on top. Other than that, I think we'll be fine. That's it, boys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's gonna be, it was a long one. Later.